Hello everyone, welcome to Phone Arena. We have an interesting piece of PC content today in this video. I'm going to be talking about the INNO3D 3070 RTX 3070 GPUs.
The ICHILL variant of the 3070 from INNO3D with two models. One is the X4 and the X3.
So the main difference between the X4 and the X3 is the fans. So yeah, that's pretty much the main difference. So the X4 priced about 1,000 rupees more than the X3.
Yes.
Reason, it has an additional fourth fan for the cooling the offset area, which helps in terms of better thermal performance. And so INNO3D is a relatively newer brand in India.
Right.
So we've heard of a lot of other brands in the GPU segment, be it Asus, Zotac, Nvidia itself.
Very popular cards. Yeah, they're very well known
cards.
Yes.
So you have Asus, Gigabyte, MSI. One of the newer players in the market is INNO3D. And they have some really good products, and we reached out to them and they sent this over to us, and we're pretty excited to actually check these out. We've been testing the INNO3D ICHILL X3 and the X4 on our test rigs, and pretty pleased with the performance. We've done a lot of benchmarks and gaming as well in some of the popular games. You'll see that footage later in the video, but for now like to talk about the product. So
so obviously you guys know that Nvidia makes their own 3070 products in their founder editions, and so you might be wondering, why would you want to go for a third party manufacturer such as INNO3D? So one of the advantages you get is more cooling. Clearly you can see that it has 4 fans versus 3 fans versus the 2 fans you get on the Nvidia systems.
Also RGB,
and of course a lot of RGB, which is also controllable via many their own utility, and it's also syncable with Asus's Aura Sync and a couple of other ecosystems. But getting back to the advantages of having cooling like this, you effectively get better thermal performance over time. And also this comes factory overclocked with an additional 55 megahertz in the boost clock frequency. So it's 1.73 gigahertz in the Nvidia factory, the Founders Edition, and this one can boost up to 1785 just out of the box. So you're getting a 55 megahertz boost frequency right out of the box, and that should translate to better performance in games. And of course you have 3 fans, which should let it run longer cool and while maintaining cooler.
Yeah, I did see that the fans do stop for idle, when it's idle or when the loads are low.
So it'll be quiet during that time also.
So it's very much quieter. Even with the fans running, I couldn't hear much. I mean, there's an open rig, you can hear more. I used it within my system and barely could hear the fans running on the GPU. And the fourth fan rarely kicks in. If there is extended use, or like if you're stress testing the GPU, pushing it to the limits, the fourth fan kicks in for cooling the offset area.
It is it's not very let's say it's not very functional. It is on the side and it is for cooling the MOSFETs, which should help in the longevity of the MOSFET itself. But also it's on this side, so on your system the fan will show. And that looks pretty cool, of course.
Yeah, and the RGB is really cool. You can customize it with the tune utility. I synced it with the RGB header now, so it's the motherboard and
with the Asus Polychrome sync, so it's synced all to that basically.
All to that, and so it's beautiful to look at if you are a fan of RGB and you have multiple fans running in your system. To go with that build, you can also have your GPU light up nicely. So we are at this INNO3D utility. So as you can see, it's in a spinning mode. The light, to change it to flash, it's flashing, so you can connect RGB headers and RGB headers as well. So it's in a glowing mode. Breathing wave is my favorite, so that's the wave mode now. It's in a static, or you can turn it off if you're not a fan of RGB. So user mode, so you can actually go into the settings and change all it. So let's go here, so you can customize this strip here for your liking. So I'm going to be changing it back to wave mode. I'm going to be hitting apply. You can change the colors to your liking. It can be a single color as well. So I'm going to be changing it. So this is in the wave mode. Let me just turn it off. So the lights are off now. So I'm going to be changing it again to cycle and apply. So you can see it's in that wave mode now. And overall, so it's a silent cooling. It's 4K capable. We did run it on 4K.
Of course, it's a 3070.
3070, so it's, although 3070 is a overkill for 1080p gaming. It's probably the right fit for QHD or
1440p
1440p
to 4K gaming. It's perfect
2K.
in that range.
So for that, this card is brilliant, and it's probably well equipped and can tackle all games pretty much very well, with very good FPS. Like I've tried Flight Simulator, Counter Strike, Forza Horizon,
all runs beautifully.
F1 2020.
Right, of course. Yeah.
So all these games are pretty demanding in terms of resources, and even though some of the times we did run it in underpowered CPUs at 3600, this probably it's in 3600, not the ideal CPU for.
But still runs really
well. The GPU handles the load very well. I also ran it on a really old machine on an i7 6700K, which is some 6-year-old machine. Still, this card takes the load beautifully, although the CPU is a bottleneck, handles beautifully. I also ran it on a 5800X, which is a much more capable machine. And
current
also
machine,
a Ryzen 5950X runs beautifully well. And so overall, the experience with the products has been like pretty positive, and we would really consider recommending the INNO3D ICHILL products, considering we did not know much previously about this brand
before,
and we haven't experienced it firsthand. So this is the first time we're actually playing with the products from this company, and we've come out pretty happy with the experience we've had. Out of the box experience, no drivers needed. You just install the standard GeForce experience and NVIDIA drivers, latest drivers. You can also optionally install their driver, their tools as well. For overclocking and doing so. They also have their own. Some manufacturers don't necessarily give you out of the box. For instance, for Zotac, I was using the MSI Afterburner app for limiting the performance, but Zotac also has a utility, iStorm utility as well. But experience isn't great, but the TuneIt utility is pretty good. You can change the RGB, configure the lights, and also play with the power limits, the speeds, overclocking, and all that.
So you have a lot of options
to do. And overall, so it's pretty capable in terms of the gaming performance. And this is, I think, not a low hash rate card. This is the high hash rate card, the 3070, and it has plenty of outputs. You have 3 display ports and 1 HDMI
2.1 port. HDMI 2.1
and display ports on the side. On the back of the card.
So I believe it takes 2 8-pin powers also. It's not the NVIDIA 12-pin card.
It's 2 PCI.
So it's more standard and most likely will fit
2 8-pin connectors, and you need at least a 650 watt, or I think I would recommend a 750 watt.
NVIDIA recommends a minimum of 650 watts.
But that's for the Founder Edition. But considering this is a 4 fan card, I think 750 watts SMPS is what we're running it now would be ideal. So So overall, do check out our benchmarks
for the card, and so you can see the performance.
The game footage as well will show you how the performance is, and we tried it with 2K and 4K screens. Pretty happy with the performance we saw. So you can see here the engines, and as soon as the engines roar, the fans on the GPU are also roaring. It's like a fully wet racetrack in Monaco, Monte Carlo, the Grand Prix. It's F1 2020. This is the game. You can see FPS is almost 120 FPS. This is on a 2K screen, 2560 by 1440 resolution. So we are going to be changing the resolution to 4K to show you how good is the 4K performance of this card as well, although it's ideal for 1080p or 1440p gaming. It's probably overkill for 1080p gaming, but the perfect card for 1440 or 2K gaming. 4K is achievable. It's on the box, and we've had past experience with the 3070 Founder Edition and the Zotac card for 4K gaming as well. So we'll show that to you in a bit. So it's amazing to see close to 150 frames per second. So this is the benchmark mode in F1 2020. The game, it's a built-in benchmark tool. So I'm not driving it per se, but so this is the kind of experience you will get in the game. It's a good amount of detail. So the system is powered by a Ryzen 3600 on a ASRock board as well. It supports PCI Gen 4. And we have a Samsung 970 Evo Plus as the kind of the main drive. It's also, although it's only a PCIe Gen 3 drive, gets some very good speeds out of it, over 3 Gbps. So that's the results of the game. The benchmark, as you can see, the system specs are shown as well. So we powered, the GPU is the NVIDIA RTX 3070 INNO3D ICHILL X4, and you're getting over an average of a 130, 129 FPS, 152 is the maximum FPS. So let's probably change the resolution to 4K now, and let's come right back. It's all in ultra high, so let's go in and change the resolution to 3840 by 2160. I'm going to be confirming the changes. We may have to restart the game, so we'll just probably get out of the game and come right back. As you can see, most of the time it's only the 3 fans kicking in. For better VRM in terms of when the thermal performance is like on the edge, you get the 4th fan to kick in for better thermal management. And as you can see, we connected the RGB header, so you're seeing the same colors across the board and the GPU. So the main difference this time around is instead of 1080p, 2K, running it at 4K, you can see the colors are a lot better, and the resolution is using the native resolution on the panel, which is 4K. Not a big hit in terms of the frame rates. Seeing instead of 120, 130, seeing about 118, 115. One of the most challenging F1 tracks in this game, the Monaco track in Monte Carlo, and the 4K resolution. This is a television we're using for this test, so it's a 4K native panel, and seeing really good frame rates from the 3070 from INNO3D. This is the X4 card. And you also have the X3. Not much is different in terms of the specs, just an additional fan for better thermal management. That's the reason it's called the X4 and the X3. So a quick word, I mean, before concluding thoughts, I mean, pretty good cards from what we think, and for the price, and thankfully the prices are more realistic now. Although it should be about 40,000, 50,000.
Scalper prices from before, it's a lot more better now.
So INNO3D tells us that these cards are priced at roughly about 66,000 pre-tax. So with tax is going to be closer to the 80,000 mark for both the cards. About 1,000 rupees difference between the cards. Considering the 3070s were going for almost 1.3 lakhs, 1.4 lakhs few months back. So this is a much better pricing, and also getting much. I would obviously nowadays recommend OEM card like Milan said for better cooling than a Founders Edition. So Founders Edition also gives you only 3 years warranty. So this also comes with, in terms of warranty, you get 3 years of manufacturer warranty, and you have, I mean, Kaizen InfoServe is the authorized partner for INNO3D
in like 40 locations,
40 cities across India.
India.
So that's what INNO3D tells us, and we've seen some interesting turnaround times as well. They're promising 10 to 12 days in terms of minor falls, and if it's something
standard in the industry, and it's great that
they claim that if it's something more than minor, they would just do a replacement without keeping the consumer
that's great for
waiting.
consumers.
I think that's the reason it's better to go with a smaller brand.
They will listen to consumers a bit more.
Listen to consumers a bit more, and we just reached out to them, and they're happy to send these products to us for review. Hopefully we'll be reviewing more of their products in future, so if you want that, do let us know in the comments. And that's pretty much it, guys. So thanks for watching. Any more questions about these products or GPUs or computing in general,
do write them in the comments below. We'll be happy to give our thoughts on them. And
so that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Do hit the subscribe button if you've not done so already. This is Varun signing off.
Milan, from my side. And that's it. Thank you for watching.